Howdy everyone, and welcome back to more for the 2023 Imperium Cup for Dune Imperium, the Rise of X and Immortality expansions. I'm your host and commentator, BlackShadow, and I do indeed welcome you to the knockout stages of the competition. From our initial 189 entrants into the tournament, 120 remain, and we now make our way into the staggered knockout brackets, which means that the group stage is over. People are no longer playing for points. It is just simple, straight elimination at this point of people playing to make their way through to the next round. Reminder of the format here is that there are several knockout brackets to come, starting off with the first knockouts. These are people that finished in 5th and 6th, as well as a few fast losers in 7th places from all the groups combined. We did a random draw for these names about a week ago or so on the Hidden Assets channel. Those who finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are staggered into the next 2 rounds of the brackets. They are seeded through as well, and those draws are also being completed as well. Now, for each round, it is simply a case of whoever wins the match goes through, and that is it. There are a couple of fastest loser spots for the best scoring second places. There are 3 of them available between the 11 matches for this round. Definitely not reliable by any stretch of the imagination. Which means that gameplay for a lot of folks is going to shift a bit more from worrying about their own games, scoring their own points, to having to be a lot more aware of what's going on the table. Because if someone just runaway wins, getting second place for 3 points is no longer good anymore. You're going to be out of the tournament. So you're definitely going to see a lot more attention, I think, paid to people that race ahead. People are going to be being pegged back. You're going to see probably a lot more aggression on the table and the choices people make, which is exactly what you want, really, at this point of the competition. And so after the first, second, and quarterfinal brackets are done, we play down to 16 players who will participate in the semi-finals, fighting for positions in the grand final at the end of the competition for our cash prize, as well as a copy of the Beast Spoils. This is the promo card that was given out to attendees at the North Carolina Invitational with Mr. Beast and Dire Wolf, and one of those cards has been ponied up to the winner of this competition as kind of a farewell to Iximo, I guess, in a form, but also the fact that we are likely to be moving on to Uprising in a more competitive setting. So it's a nice way to kind of make that transition. And these cards are limited edition. They are not available in print. There's only so many of them in the world. I've got mine, but one of these players will be able to add theirs to their future Uprising collection. In any event, let's have a look at today's match and preview it. This is Match B from the first knockout bracket. This is going to be featuring Michael Wild, ShemaTactics, Hersheylim, and Onenappyninja, who came through as one of the fastest qualifiers, the best scoring 7th place in all of the groups. Michael Wild came through Group K, a fairly convincing 6th place, if that makes any sense here, as you can see from the table. It was a pretty tough group, to be fair. Some very strong players. Mattia is very known as an exceptionally strong Iximo player. TAF Live, Game Slayer as well, pretty solid. So Michael Wild, had a pretty solid campaign, 12 points, including his 1 victory, which came playing as Countess Ariana of all people, which is not something you'd expect, but managing to go over the line here. I think Michael will probably fancy their chances of making through this round. I'd say for a very tough, very strong group, was pretty competitive throughout, and Michael's definitely played a fair bit of Iximo as far as I'm aware. So I think they'll fancy their chances here. I think they might need a little bit of an opening maybe, and something to like really go for, and like to take full advantage of perhaps. But I definitely think they will fancy themselves making it through to the second round here. ShemaTactics managed to survive a couple of people making last gasp attempts to progress in Group R, finishing 5th overall in the table. This is the table that featured Night Fury, who is the only person in the entire competition that goes into the next set of rounds unbeaten. Only person to win 4 out of 4. Very, very impressive feat that indeed. Well, I do feel the Armenian is a pretty solid, strong player. My only assessment of Shema, the games I've played and sort of seen over the competitions, I think they are perhaps a little bit reliant on playing on like some of the biggest leaders. In fact, if you go through the group stages, the leaders they played was Ilban, Raban, and Tezia twice. So hasn't had to actually play as one of the sort of the lesser picked leaders and had to kind of improvise. And as such, maybe this might be one of the games where they're going to have to kind of go outside that comfort zone a little bit. I'm not saying that necessarily they can't do that, but they've not had to do that so far in this competition so far. So if they're forced to pick like an ECAS, or someone that's not quite a general meta pick, Helena or something. It'd be very interesting to see if Shema is able to kind of take advantage of and make those opportunities occur. Whereas sometimes those stronger leaders, they can just happen for you on occasion. Hersheylim just about scraped through in Group L with a last gasp win in the final match of the group in order to secure 6th place and force their way through to the next round, which was a heck of an attempt as well from Hershey. It was a simple do or die moment, but with the hands of Baron Harkonnen, managed to force their way into the next round, and deservedly so as well. We did cover that game, and I think they did a really good job in getting through there. Hershey definitely did struggle a fair bit in the group, however, starting off with a 4th place finish as Beast Rabard and a couple of thirds with Duke Lido, meaning they have it all to do in the final game of the groups. But again, they took the pressure and they managed to get through to them. So I think that shows to me that Hershey definitely is able to withstand that tournament pressure, being those must-win situations. They've done it once, and maybe they can find a way to do it again. And last up, we have Onenappyninja, who came through as our best, fastest loser from the group stages, coming through here in Group H. This was a group that was really, really tough. Some very strong players here. Tamaz, Lannister, Grizzle, Puff as well. DS as well, pretty solid player, but managed to beat them out there. Started really strong, did Nappy, actually, with a win with Beast Rabard, but did sort of start sliding away as the competition went. 2nd place of Helena, 4th place with the Baron, and then finishing off with a 3rd with Romba in the final game of the groups. But Nappy managed to do just enough to hold on with a strong 7th place there and find their way through to the knockouts. Maybe feel that they've got something to prove, however, in this group. They obviously had a strong start, was probably targeting a top 4 finish, didn't quite happen for them, so they're going to fancy themselves trying to make some amends here and force their way through to the next round of the competition. I mean, one thing to keep an eye out for as we get into these knockout stages is just keep an eye for, like, different styles of games and different cards and techs and such, which are going to have different values now on a knockout stage. Just kind of playing kind of to yourself and scoring, like, sort of 8, 9, 10 points consistently with Spices Flows and calling for 2nd place is no good anymore. Like, because it's a knockout format here, it's going to force players to have to confront each other and get involved with fights and make much more kind of cutting decisions, which are going to have much bigger impacts on the table. It also means that there's certain techs like Chow Murky and Spy Satellites, which in the group stage are really, really strong, but now we're in a knockout point where you've just got to win these games. Perhaps they're not going to be quite as valuable to do so. So I definitely keep an eye out for stuff like that. A lot of it can be quite subtle, nuanced changes, but it's something that's worth keeping an eye out for regardless. I'm looking forward to this. I think we're going to have a great time here. Okay then, so we're all ready to rock and roll here. Michael Wild's got the first seat, which means it'll be Onenappyninja to pick first. Let's have a look at the opening row and techs. Value of things does change a little bit now because it's no longer a group format. It's all about winning, which means that there is a different value to different stuff. It's like Spy Satellites I see immediately, so that's why I'm kind of bringing that up. It's all about winning. If you can get a really good 2nd place, you might make it as well, but it's not a group stage anymore. Anyways, so the opening row here. Slick Farmer and Face Dance are the opening couple of cards here. Both pretty solid. Slick Farmer's pretty popular. Obviously, you get that money early is quite nice. The Beetle production. Face Dance is one of my favourite cards in the game, or even the Initiate as well. Really nice access, good enabler of experimentation. The card draw is also pretty useful as well. Imperium row is not great. There's a couple of alright cards here. Clandestine's really strong if you can get it grafted, and there is some graft up there. People might be tempted into that. Imperial Spy is a nice use and dump, and then you got Negotiate Withdraw as well, which is pretty solid. Jessica Arrakis needs another Bene Gesserit in play, of which there currently isn't. So it's very possible someone might just get the 5 and just rip the row, maybe grab Negotiated first. I don't think this row will last too long. And then as for our techs here, all pretty solid. So our Satellites is obviously always really, really strong, but we're no longer in a group stage, so it does lose some value there. Hollow Projector's a nice enabler, and then Training Drones is solid. You can get that nice and early as well. As for our leaders, a couple of typical here. The fact we've got the Beast here will probably get picked pretty early. Hundro as well. Outside of that, though, interesting to see what happens. We might see Yuna get picked. Helena might well get picked as someone just punting their own, trying to pick up a decent card or two. Maybe just getting on Negotiated. It's a decent card for her as well. So we'll see how things go. So no surprise to see Beast getting picked in 4th. He's probably the strongest leader available there. A lot of people will believe so. And Beast is also really solid in 4th as well. Nice flexibility. His ring's got It's got a lot of potency as well. It's very scary for people to deal with early on. 103rd isn't a surprise. 103rd is actually not the worst, although obviously not the easiest either to get a ton of stuff going on as well. But, you know, could be worse. So it's up to basically Michael to make the first decision he wants to pick here. Does he go for, like, Paul in first? Does he go for Helena? No, goes to Yuna. Yuna's regarded as being alright in first position because of the fact she can obviously make more use out of, like, the smuggling, the money and such. And we do see Paul Atreides in first position here. Fair enough. Intrigues, counteracts and diversion for Hundro. He's not going to be the most excited about either of these. It's tempting, actually, to take diversion and arm up for, like a second round, Hardy Warriors or something. And that's indeed what happens. He does indeed take diversion. So, we're getting ourselves off to the races here. Get ourselves set up. And the opening conflict is the mixed skirmish with the troop. And a bit of smuggling as well. So, you know, solid enough. Let's get going here. Yuna's drawn pretty decently. Paul's drawn not too bad. Hundro... Ooh, actually, Paul hasn't drawn that great. He can go fold space. The problem he's got is how's he going to find more experimentation? He's drawn all of his shipping access firsthand. So it's a little bit tricky for him. He'd have to go fold space and then, like, really draw a load of cards. Try and get Arrakis maybe and try and respin that. But he's not guaranteed to do so. Hundro's just going to go ahead and go mining very early here. He's got no faction access. His ring's ready to go, though. And Beast has pulled pretty solidly as well. He's drawn pretty much everything he wanted. So, you know, fairly decent set of opening hands. I don't think anyone can be too unhappy about this. Beast just opts still suits and probably just limp a troop in. It's a nice solid opening. Kind of nondescript. Keeps you flexible. So we started for Beast here. Yuna goes immediate Mentat. Wow. Now that is a bit of a surprise. With that hand as well... I don't know. I assume she's going to use Diplo and save Seek Allies and try and respin one next round. Paul Atreides goes Carfag. He's going to pick up the cannon turrets that Hunter put away. Only putting in one is a little... I think you've got to put in at least two here. Yeah, two looks good. It's kind of hard to put in more. But I think at least two is fine. He's got a dagger behind... the problem is that it's a little tricky. Like, you've got the extra troop. I don't hate going in here and putting people to task, because you're going to get the troop back if you win it. The smuggling bump in theory is nice, but the problem is you might not get access to shipping next round. Hundro is going to Arrakeen. He knows that he can't win the fight, because he knows what Paul's intrigue is. He's probably got to put something in, though, but it's really weird. Yuna decided to not get involved here. I think I'm okay with Arrakeen, because if you go Arrakeen, Yuna cannot deploy anything into this combat. Like, she's cycled the Mentat here, but she has no water. So if you go Arrakeen, that gets blocked. And she can't get Hardy Warrior, she's got no water here. So I like Arrakeen here, just because, like, it's not a big deal. And you're gonna get a spice. Even if you just limp in one here. I think for me, it's Arrakeen, and you put in a troop, and you save up for diversion for me. Yeah, does agree. Paul's a Diplo, you know, not a disaster. He's got Seek Allies. One is fine. You might decide to put in two. I don't hate putting in two, but, you know. But the thing is the only way Beast wins is by going Hardy Warriors. I don't think he is putting in any more troops here. I think you probably could have put in two and been good to get the two spies. Is Beast really going to Hardy Warriors this conflict? I don't think so. And he's got nowhere to put his ring, unless he's going to go Hagar Basin, which he might. He might even go early Great Flat here. No, he does go Hagar Basin, so he's going to arm himself up for conspiring, but he's going to have to draw the faction access. That's the only problem here. And he will opt to spend for the extra spice, which is fairly wise. And then, yeah, Yuna's kind of got a weird spot here. I assume she's playing Diplo to, like, wealth here. Maybe secrets. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really like the Mentat. I would have preferred just the smuggle and then just wealth it. She's hoping to kind of get a bit fortunate on the redraw, I guess, but we'll see what happens. Paul Atreides reveals the 4 and the dagger. He'll take negotiated. Hello. Lady J turns up. Very, very strong card. No one's going to get hold of it right now. No Helena either to put it to the side. So I don't think she's going to live here. I think that there's going to be some punting going on here at 4. Paul Atreides should 100% take Face Dance. It's a great card for him. Really, really strong card for him. And does indeed. Do like it. Very good card. Natural Reflexes comes up next. That's going to be tempting to some people if they're going to rush along the track. Hunjo with 4. And there's a couple half-decent cards for him. Imperial Spy's okay. Clandestine is good if you think you can get the grafting, which, you know, there is grafting up there. And, you know, you could definitely pair that with something else, but, you know, it's a little bit of a punt. I think Imperial Spy is fine, yeah. See what comes off. Imperial Bashar is next. I don't think I was going to take any cards here. Maybe Beast goes for, like, a liaison here, which isn't the worst decision. I don't think Yuna should buy anything. Truthfully, I think she should just chill with what she's got. Punting the row here at 2 is like an absolute liberty. And I would not advise that. It's just like, you're just asking for trouble. So, Liaison for Beast. Again, I don't think Yuna should buy anything. She's trying to find her Diplos and stuff like that ASAP. I don't think liaisons are going to help you a ton here. Goes for the Talaxu lab, though. Interesting. Don't see this card get picked very much, truthfully. Interesting. All right, then. So, Paul Atreides is going to get the conflict. He'll get the bump and a troop back. A couple of spice for Beast here. And Hunjo gets a loose spice as well. So, Beast is pretty nicely armed up for spice here for the early game, which is pretty good. Hunjo's got his diversion. And he's going to obviously be looking to cash that in ASAP here. And he's got a lot of work to do. Second combat is Arrakis. We might see fireworks here. Oh, Hunjo. Hunjo pulls his ring again. Wow, that's pretty insane. That is pretty wild. But he's going to have to go Hardy Warriors early here. He's not going to be able to wait on the Signet Ring. He needs to go Hardy Warriors first because he's going to lose access to it. So Paul Atreides did find shipping access, but it was via his negotiated withdrawal. Does he ship? Or does he Hardy Warriors? No, he will just take the shipping. He will just call it a day. Hunjo has to Hardy Warriors immediately here. Yep, this is mandatory. He's got to get in first. Beast did not find any faction access, and nor did Yuna. Her redraw has not worked. Yuna's in some trouble here. She might go Mentat again, trying to dig out of this. But yeah, very fortunate for Hunjo to re-find his Signet Ring immediately. That is a huge, huge boon for him here. Beast in trouble. Beast in a lot of trouble here. Is Beast just going Spy Satellites? Is he going to go Training Drones? It's an interesting spot. Like, Spy Satellites is a really good tech for Beast, but it doesn't have it until the end. Training Drones is going to give you that help all throughout the game here. And he does opt for Spy Satellites. Again, I can't hate it. Take some pressure off factions. You can just look to choose one and barrel it. So, Spy Satellites is taken. Can't be a bad move. Yuna's going to get to smuggling, though, which is the only wild part of this. Yuna is going to get hold of the Swordmaster immediately here. Beast happy to give that up. If Yuna's going to be actually able to go to a city, though, is another question. Not guaranteed. No one's got very good access here. She might have no access by the time it gets back to her again. Paul's up. And Paul has a choice. He can ship or he can use negotiated by going to Carthag. You don't have to ship here. Because he's got the bump here from the previous conflict, he's not obliged to go shipping here. He might opt just to put in the troops, retreat like for the Spacing Guild, and then just cash in shipping. He's going to have to wait for his Swordmaster a little bit, though, probably. Hunjo's going to get in ahead of him, and then he must know that is very likely to happen. There's no way for him to get the Swordmaster before Hunjo. And he might even get there before Beast. So I think Paul... I think I'm going Carthag. And I'm trying to make Hunjo put in more stuff here. Hunjo knows that you've got a battle intrigue. Because remember, it's the intrigue that you drew. But it does have knock-on effects as well, though, down the line. But I don't hate going Carthag and putting in the free here. And that is what we see. Finds illicit dealings. Very nice. I would not play it right now. No need to. But the players are going to be conscious that you probably have negotiated. That's the only problem with this. Either you didn't have the access, or you probably have negotiated withdrawal. Here comes Hundro. He pulls his Diplo. Didn't want to see that. So here comes the drop down. I'm curious to see what faction Hundro goes for here. If he goes for Fremen, he knows he's got to fight. No, he's just going to go for the shipping here. And Hundro does put in... Oh. Hundro does put in more. He's not willing to believe that Paul's got negotiate withdrawal here. He thinks it's because he had no access, which is also plausible because he did draw it all immediately. Oh, might Hershey here think twice about this? No. No, Hershey's fallen for it. Well, that's a result for Paul. Obviously trying to get his bump, but I didn't think it was likely that Hundred was actually going to put in more troops here, but did. Huge result. Beast goes to Imperial Basin to, again, block out Yuna, because Yuna's got no access currently. Oh, she'd have to find Diplo to get the steel suits to get anything from this. I think it's a wise move. Just, she's got no water. Take advantage of that. Early reveal. Beast accidentally reveals early here. I saw him like hovering over the bottom and I was like, is he going to press that? I just couldn't react in time. Anyways, so Yuna Swordmasters. Paul's going to retreat here, surely. I assume he's going to take the spacing bump, cash it in next round, and then at least threaten Swordmaster from there. But he's going to have to wait for a little bit. But that's, you know, he knows that going in. Hershey will be a little bit annoyed to see that. And think, oh yeah, of course. No, goes Fremen. No, I think for me, I'd be going spacing here. I think you want to jam that alliance, because if you go up and down and cash, you only get +5 coins. That's 7. So, unless she's... I think Paul might be thinking they're going to go smuggling, then shipping. But I don't think they get to smuggling very often here. Goes for clandestine meeting. Wow, that's a choice. Looking to try and find this with the Face Dancer card, which is obviously very, very strong combination if you can. So Hundro's going to get this, obviously. Yeah, Unisided Swordmaster and not Mentatting here. So Beast is going to get second place for absolutely nothing. Also worth noting, Beast also has nowhere to go, but he's out of actions anyways. Hundro with 4. He's considering punting the row. He's very much considering punting the row here. Bashar doesn't take his fancy. I think Beast might go Bashar, though. Embedded Agent's also there for 5. It's a decent reveal, even if you don't, like, play it. That intrigue, that intrigue just coming on like every other reveal is pretty good. Especially when you're playing as Beast. Makes you very difficult to fight. So, 5 for Beast. 6 for Beast, actually. I lie. He's got the tech negotiation as well. I wonder if he might punt and gamble here. I think Embedded Agent I would just take anyways. I think that's good enough just to take. But he might occasionally opt just to punt and gamble. Look for a Treachery, Gurney, stuff like that. Imperium Ceremony is also solid. The Beast here. Ixion Engineer is very committing. And my only issue with that is that you'll need your spice of other stuff right now. It's going to sit there for a while. The techs up there are not the cheapest. I wouldn't go Ixion Engineer right now. As tempting as it is. Yeah, he's going to gamble. Wow, well, interesting hand. So, Dissecting Kit, Fremingcamp, Full Scale Assault, and then we've got 2 pan couplings. They both spawned here. So, Dissecting is going to be taken. Lit Kynes turns up. Can't afford it. He's got 4 left. Just going to go for some grafting here. I think I like that. I think Dissecting and a plan coupling aside. Might even go Fremingcamp. But I think plan coupling is the pick for me. And I do agree. Benitalaxa Research turns up next here. Yuna will not be unhappy to see that. Not at all. It's a huge result. So, unit, force reveal, no actions. Liet Kynes has taken, obviously, first of all, to Researcher, which I get. The bump is there. I don't know how much she's actually going to get out of buying Spiceless Flows of it, though. She's got to commit down to Fremen decks, and that's going to be basically the liaisons here. So Hundro wins it convincingly. 4 coins for the Beast for nothing. Very strong position for him here. Very nice. And we'll move on. Can Hundro get his way to Swordmaster quickly here? Will he find... Oh, he's got Imperial Spy. Yeah, coming. He's fine. Raid Stockpiles is next then. More resources. Both the resource fights coming out back-to-back, which is going to give people no points to get, but it's going to leave them armed up and ready to go. So Hundro will get access to Swordmaster. He finds Stage Instant. It's a big, big card for him, that. Beast is up. You feel like Beast probably... Oh, he's got plan coupling with this as well. I'd be tempted just to use it. But we'll see. Just go smuggling, which can't be bad. You know, again, if Paul thought he was going to get there, it was unlikely. Paul's showing his face. Wow, Paul's hand is... His deck is really good, by the way, Paul. Paul's got loads of flicks in his deck, which is really, really awesome. It's almost too good. I would be tempted to go Mentatting with your Signet Ring. How many cards you got to draw? 2? I'd be tempted to go Mentatting and draw them both. Because you're not getting Swordmaster for a little while. Beast is going to get it next round, so maybe you go Mentatting now and just have a big hand. Draw loads of cards. You got Atomics, get to like 6 or 7. Maybe you can go Full Scale Assault if it's still there. It's not a bad card for you. Union Steel Suits finally. She's been waiting to do this for a while. Decent combat enough to do it on. Be happy with that. So we'll see what Paul does. There are a couple of intrigues out there where Hundro goes shipping, but he's going Swordmaster here, so you wouldn't expect him, even if he has a way of getting to shipping, you wouldn't expect him to take it right now, because he'd lose out on Swordmaster for a long time. And Paul does go Mentatting, and he uses his Fold Space to do it, which, I don't know about that, but sure, whatever. So he does go to draw a load of cards. Swordmaster, of course, for Hundro. Where's Beast going here, though? That I don't know. That I'm unsure what he's going to do here. Is he going Bene Gesserit? I can't... But I don't know. I mean, the thing is, he's got factions he's got to hit. He's got an alliance he's got to secure, so he does opt to Hardy Warriors, even though it's not a great Hardy Warriors combat for him. But he might... It's weird, like, he's getting a lot of spice, but he's not spice he needs at the Fremen. So... Yeah, it's kind of a weird Hardy Warriors, isn't it? You're out of position. He's going to put in 2 just to try and charge a price here, basically. Try and find a way to get second for the absolute minimum. That may or may not work, though, is the only problem. Hundro might stage instant this combat. We'll see what happens. Yuna, just Imperial Basins. Kind of not got a lot else going on with her actions. Goes for the Intrigue. I would have been tempted to go for the Trash, personally. Finds Expedite, which is really nice for her, but that will only be useful later on. Needs to get shipping access ASAP, but no faction access currently. So what does Paul want to do here? I feel like you just gotta... Well, you have to ship, and you've got to go to a faction. The only problem, of course, is if he draws, his next hand is going to be interesting. You know, there's a Fold Space, Clandestine's there, Diplo's in there still as well. But obviously his Clandestine Enabler is in his hand currently, so unless he's going to draw buckets of cards, it's kind of a weird spot for Paul, this. A little tricky. You feel like he should be using the Face Dancer, and it feels weird not to use Signet Ring or the Face Dancer, and he might opt to not to. He might opt just to go for a clean draw, who knows? So, take the bumps, take the cash. I guess he's just going to bump from him for Siege access. Maybe he's looking to go Haga Basin here. He might be looking to go Haga Basin and just not draw anything here. But we'll see. The card drawn Face Dancer is mandatory, and he is a bit conscious of that. Hundro has to reveal, nowhere to go, so he's at 4. Well, he opts not to... Oh, I lie. Well, he could have gone to a city, but he's like, I'd rather take Firm Grip. I apologise. So, Hundro does indeed... Yeah, just takes Firm Grip and calls it a day. Which I don't hate. I guess if you're just going to go stage incidenting anyways, then you're not obliged to do it right now. So I think that's not unreasonable. Beast has 5. Couple of half-decent cards there for Beast. Friendly Camp he's interested in. Maybe Freighter Fleet wants a Blue Moon. Benny Talaxa Researcher's out there. It's a nice enabler. I think I just take the Researcher a lot of the time, and he does. Wow, both Freighter Fleets are out there. That's pretty that's pretty wild. If someone could get that in Holo Projectors, they are laughing. Una High Councils. Una High Councils. So that tells you the story. Una is definitely interested in Spice plus Flow buying with Leet Kinds. That is on the cards here. Not Una's strong suit, truthfully, but we'll see how that goes. Paul's up. Well, if Paul wants to go Haga Basin with experimentation, I don't hate the move, and just don't draw. It gets you spice. You do need it. You can get some spice from the combat as well. I actually don't hate this. You want to get these experimentations done as well. Like, you've been a little bit behind on it. Yeah, I think Haga Basin, and just, like, you know, up to you how much you want to put in. You can put in 2 troops. You know you're going to get ahead of Beast with your dagger. I'm okay with not drawing. Because you got Clandestine and Face Dancer. And maybe even sometimes you get another graph card, like Plan Coupling. I would experiment and not draw. If you are going to draw, I guess you just draw everything and go to a faction. You go Siege instead for the water. Okay, that's where he was going then. That's fair enough. So it's going to be drawing 2, but his next hand could be really troublesome. He finds Negotiated and his dagger. Well, he's just going to negotiate this, and I guess. But it's kind of weird. Like, he could definitely win the conflict. He's got both his daggers. Bit of a funky draw. You got to put in all 3 regardless, I think, whatever you're going to do. Either to win the conflict or withdraw here. But I don't know if you withdraw. I would be tempted just to win it. That spice is good for you. We'll see. You know 4 then. She might eye up both freighter fleets and look to get hold of Holo Projectors. I legit think that's what she's going to do. There's 1. Full scale assault comes, but she's thinking about liaisons and Leet Kinds though. Punting it too seems absurd. Like, what are you looking for if you're going to punt it at 2? There's a real liberty. I can't get behind that. So, first liaison for Leet Kinds. At the moment, the 2 would reveal for 6. Plus, the High Council would make it 8. So, yeah, it would be pretty decent. Slick Farmer. It's an interesting card for her. I mean, obviously, the money in theory is good, but Sheshanaz comes up next. Paul is going to not retreat here, and I think this is fine. I don't think I'd retreat here either. I'd just take it down. You draw both daggers as well. It feels kind of bad to not retreat. So I'm totally down with this. You've got access to shipping as well, so that's kind of supplanting. And you do get fan coupling as well, so... Eyeing up Industrial here with a couple of graph cards. I don't hate it. I actually think there's a real chance here for Paul to do this and get some good value out of this. Either with Face Dancer or Plan Coupling. You got to be a little bit careful, though. Your deck is starting to get a bit big. You're at 14 cards. You need to start making sure you hit selective breeding in the next round or 2. Like, especially this round coming up. I think you need to make sure you get the selective breeding. Oh my god, and the Face Dancer Initiate turns up. Look at all this grafting here being enabled by Talaxi. It's pretty wild. They've all been graph cards so far. There's been like 6 of them. So, combat will resolved as per. Paul takes it down. 2 spice for Una. Just the 1 spice for Beast. A little bit pricey. His plan to try and get a cheap second place backfired. Oh my holy goodness. Ball of Tradies is found cool on the market. It's a massive card. Can you imagine if he had not got involved, he'd retreated and given that to Una? Oh my lord. That is crazy. So next up is Imperial Basin. And this is bad news for Paul Atreides. Paul Atreides has been trying to get a lockdown on Great Flat here. He's not going to be able to do that anymore. Oh, look at his access. Of course, yeah, all his shipping cards are in the bank here, so he's going to have to make a quick decision on what he wants to do here. If he doesn't take Great Flat now, he might lose it. Loads of spice at Haga Basin as well. It's Beast first. Beast obviously knows he's going to get hold of it, his spice of the thing. He's going to go for the water just to try to threaten Haga Basin. Don't think it's likely he gets there, though. Yuna's got the It-Kinds in hand. I think she might go selective breeding here. Once in a bloom. No, it doesn't size not to. I guess it's nothing too great to trash. It's just cool steel suits. So she's going to go great flat here. So Paul Atreides got to make a decision right now what he wants to do. If he goes great flat, he has to give up shipping. Which I think is fine. I think you have to go great flat, though. I feel like you've kind of got to go for it. 6 spice there. I think it's too strong. And does opt to do so. I think this is fine. You know, if you got to give up shipping, so be it. Does find experimentation, interestingly. Nothing for clandestine. Did not find a graph card for it, so might opt just to ship here. I don't know. We'll see. Andro with 3 actions, but he's kind of struggling with stuff to do with it. No water to get any of the spice here. No water for Hardy Warriors. He's got stage instant he needs to use as well. This is a combat he would like to win too. Bit of an awkward spot for Hundro. His access isn't great. Does he just go fold space? And just hope and just try and pull him more. Like, people are trying to put him in difficult positions. If you go fold space, you might be able to benefit off it once on a blue moon. Yeah, kind of a weird spot. I think he is just going to go fold space. Yep, just going to go fold space and give himself the access to it if Paul ever decides not to go there, which is very possible. Beast is... Now, I think Beast should have used Dissecting Kit to trash the dagger when he did that, because Dissecting Kit currently does not reveal for anything. He has not got enough genetic markers. He hasn't got any. He would have Dissecting Kit to go to Swordmaster and get rid of the dagger there, personally, but that's just me. You know, all go smuggling here. I don't know if she's actually... I'm curious to see what she's going to do here with Liet Kynes. Bane's actually now reveals for a spice. We'll see what the plan is. Paul just ships. Hundro. Paul's firm grip. Huge result for him. He might just card it in here. And think, well, if I win it, great. If I don't, I've got stage incident. But he is going Emperor here. And Paul has not been aggressive with the Spacing Alliance. Hundro might bomb it. What does Beast do here? Beast has to go Haga Basin. Like, you just have to go Haga Basin. He should have trashed the dagger with Dissecting, so be it, you didn't. But you have to go Haga Basin. There's 4 spice there. It's too good for you. It means you're threatening Highliner, conspiring. The water, obviously, you do want to keep hold of for Hardy Warriors, though. But it is what it is. What? Oh my god, is he gonna trash his experimentation? No! Yeah, I was about to say, you can't do that. You should have done it with the dagger. I was going to say, what? He's realised now he's made a mistake there. Research. Gotta do it. It's mandatory, so I have to tell him. He bumps down as well for the intrigue. No one seems to be wanting to trash their daggers out here. There's been no trashing so far this game, which is going to impede people later on. People definitely need to. So Yuna's got an action. She's got the It-Kinds. Other than that, she doesn't really want to play the Talaxu Lab. She's got 7 Persuasion. She has Atomics. For Humanity is out there. I don't hate just revealing and taking For Humanity here. The only problem is if you're doing this, I mean, are you going to go Research Station to start buying spice? I guess. But then what? And you're not guaranteed to buy the spice here. There's a lot of cards in your deck which don't give you anything. Both your daggers are there. There's a lot of 1 persuasion costs. Your experimentation, recon, your ring. Yeah, I don't really like Research Station. It's a little tricky. Like, it's not certain. You can just get For Humanity. I don't hate that. The problem is you feel like you've got to see it like at least twice to feel it's worth it. And Yuna as such is going to take a punt here. This is not guaranteed to work at all. But feels she's got to with Liet Kynes. And misses. Yeah, this is the problem. There's a lot of cards there, which means she doesn't get there. So she finds Freighter Fleet and the Slig Farmer. Slig Farmer she did not want to see. At all. That's a terrible result for her. She's looking to pair that with her ring. Gets the bump. She goes and takes a full space bump, which, you know, I don't know how useful that's going to be. Paul just rips it at 6. Immediately. Not interested in the previous row. A few decent cards here. Sidina. Kwisatz is there. Tessie Humanity's solid as well. He's got the faction access. So he doesn't need to... There's loads of it out there, though. Just goes for Tess. I think you've got to take Sidina as well. Keep it away. But the problem is, he doesn't really have any Fremen cards. And he doesn't have any water, so it's a little tricky. No one has any water, admittedly. Sidina is kind of a weird card for you here. In theory, it's great. But look at the combat. If you're going to get second place here, you're going to get 2 water. I think Sidina's a take. Just look at the combat. Like, it's the water combat here. You've got to take Sidina, I think. You can't let that go. You feel you're going to get a point from it somewhere. You don't even have to necessarily send it to Fremen. Like, you could combine that with Face Dancer, for example. I feel like leaving Sidina has got to be a mistake here. What else are you doing? You're just going to pass? And let someone else have that? Seems wild to me. You've got to take it, yeah. Also, as well, I would have at this point played illicit dealings and looked to draw the next card here. But hey-ho. So, Hundro will hit Firm Grip. Does he just jam spacing here? I think he's going to jam spacing. If he's ever going to do it, now is the time. Yep. Yep, not surprised at all. Paul Atreides was not aggressive with that, and that is going to cause some problems here. Didn't like Paul kind of being a bit more passive. I think he had a great opportunity just to jam that alliance and decided not to. And now he's got problems in letting Hundro in here. So, Beast with a dagger. Dissecting Kit is not a bump. But he can buy a card here. He's eyeing up Unnatural Reflexes here. Which I don't hate. If you're going to buy it, now's probably a good time. Because if you don't, someone else probably is. Face Dancer Initiative is also a good card for him. Oh my holy god. Well, he goes through, which I don't hate. And it is, every card's been graphed up here. That's wild, apart from, like, Industrial. Stitched Horror is next. And Hundred Moritani will be very happy to see that. Because Una can't get it. Crazy. So, Una with 7. Again. Surely she's going to rip this row. She can't get Kwisatz. And there's nothing else really that's that interesting. I don't think she's going Chris Knife often. You want cards with lots of action access like Slick Farm and stuff. I think she just rips it. Yeah, she does. What do you find? Anything interesting? Some interesting stuff. Just Initiate, G-Manipulation, Solid. Still Manufacturer is a great card and opts to go for it. That helps deal with her water issues. Problem is that an alliance you're going to get hold of? Because Beast is going to jam it. Una just expedites now. But, oh, I see. She's going to do it now so she can get the shipping access. That's why. Okay, makes sense. I get it. Didn't spot that from earlier. Yeah, she can do that to get in front for shipping for a round. Got play to cash it in, though. Also takes the Face Dancer Initiate. More grafting up there. Top decks it. Chair-Dog is next up here. Loads and loads and loads of graft. It's pretty insane how it's all been this. Huncho's going to rip it at 5. No Talaxu Master. That was a half-decent row. Not interested at all. But yeah, we're just in an era where you have 5 Persuasion, you rip the row, look for Talaxu Master. It feels like a lot. There's 1 2 we can power play, both pretty good, though. Not sure which I'd go for here. You're going to go for Stitched, obviously. We'll see what happens here. I think I'd be tempted more towards power play, given the size of your deck. And you got Firm Grip as well. But I don't know. Kind of depends how you see it. Does go for power play in the end. So Hundro's going to surely look to take this down here. Can Paul Atreides ever find cannon turrets to force a tie? He'd probably win the conflict if he did, because Hundro might just rip it, but he's happy with the 2 water here. So Hundro gets the second combat VP. This is not good news for Beast, by the way. Both the victory point conflicts he's not got. Beast is starting to struggle here. I know he's got spy satellites, but Beast is in trouble. We move on here to round 5. Trade Monopoly it is. Kind of a weird conflict. There's a lot of people who would like those bumps. It's bad for Beast, though. But Beast is... I don't know. Beast is in a weird spot now. He's in some trouble, really. Eunice first, though. Finds the Initiate. Has got enough for the Signet Ring. Experimentation in hand as well. I don't hate just having Face Dance and Signet Ring as a double bump somewhere. I think I'd just experiment and just kind of, do your shipping, trash something, and then kind of see what happens here. I would hold Signet Ring and Face Dance Initiate for the time being, and just kind of see how things progress. She'd love to get to, like, Selective Breeding, but Initiate does not get you there. So I think just ship here and, see how things play out. Paul needs to use this at dealings. He needs to cycle this intrigue out. No selective breeding access. That's not ideal for him. Can you see what Paul's going to do here? Surely he's got a smuggle here. Surely Paul Atreides is just going to go ahead and smuggle and call it a day. And he'll kind of reassess where we get to here. I don't think I'd worry about drawing. You could Signet Ring smuggling, actually, and then Face Dance Experiment to a faction. That seems a good way to play this, actually. That's how I would proceed. I would Signet Ring, smuggling, Face Dancer, Experiment to a faction, and then kind of play it from there. Paul does want flagships, though. I think Paul he looked at the Beast Spice there, and flagships in the row. Obviously, if shipping, he was going to get with shipping, but now he's kind of being put into a decision. He could opt to ignore smuggling, knowing that he's going to get hold of shipping next round. But feels he's got to get his Swordmaster. So, Beast looks like they're going to get hold of flagships if they want it. And I imagine they probably will. I don't see how he's ever going High Council here. Beast needs points desperately. So I think he's going to have to target tier 3s here a lot of the time. No one wants to go for the trashing, do they? Very unpopular today. Bypass Protocol was found. Illicit dealings will be played. Bypass Protocol was great, by the way. Spend 2 spies to top deck something. He might use that for, like, Esmar here. Interesting. Doesn't need to do it right now, though. He's in no rush. Paul's got to make a decision here. Is Paul just going to just passively get these friendships, or is he going to challenge for an alliance? Yeah, this is a little... It's just a little negative for me. Just a little negative. It's hard to do Fremen when Beast has got the spice stats, although his faction access to Fremen is actually pretty bad. Hundro just mentats, his hand's pretty bad. Beast is off to selective breeding. Well, okay. Well, what I would have done... Alright, so obviously he's going flagships, but the moment he put Pancop, I was like, well, surely you save that for a selective breeding visit. But I guess if you're buying flagship, you then can't. Yeah, I guess. Still, they're using it on this card here. That kind of says to the table, like, I've got a pretty terrible hand. Buys a Dreadnought as well, so completely resource empty here. Draws convincing. It's not what he wanted to see here. Beast is really struggling with some of these draws. But he goes for the flagship anyways. Yeah, slight misspeak there. Holtzman comes up next. Paul Atreides wants this desperately. Paul Atreides might just go and get that anyways with his Signet Ring. It's a great card for him with Corner the Market. He's got to start finding some... Spiceless Flows here. So Unit does face dancer and signet ring the spacing guild so that she can double bump it, get in front of Hundro's attempt at an alliance. Also makes the ring cheap, of course. And we'll look to put this in on a city space. So Paul's got to get Holtzman. Paul's got to... Ooh. Well, yeah, I suppose he has to do this first. He's got to hope no one grows Tech King, which I don't think is going to happen a lot of the time. He needs to get Holtzman, and then... Oh, wow, he's actually pulled Face Dancer as well. And he's got the... He's got Missionaria. The Missionaria Negotiate with Draw. He might go Hardy Warriors here. And look to get hold some faction bumps. Paul's got to go aggressive. There's a chance for Paul to get in front of the Fremen Alliance here. It's going to put Beast in a real problem. Hundro just goes Arrakis. He's got his signet ring in hand now. Oh, wow. Paul was in kind of a bit of trouble here. I guess you could probably get away with Holtzman being there. Should be alright. But I feel like Paul has to... I feel like Paul's got to... He's got to surely make use of his negotiate withdrawal here. He's not being able to make too much use out of it. Beast goes Siege with his ring. Is he just going to get this in? The problem is it's not a great conflict for Beast, this. But he has got a shipping bump. I think I would have put in at least another troop and just kind of test the waters a little bit here. Yuna's just going to put it all in. Finds blackmail. That's very nice for her. And that I think might well get used here as well. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Yuna decided that Beast didn't put in another troop here. Especially he's got Harvest Cells as well. I can only assume Beast is intending to go research station here. But I don't know. I don't know if Beast is actually going to bother getting involved or not. We'll see. Yuna has to put in all three here, I think. That's kind of forced. Wow, wow, wow. And Paul Atreides just absolutely rockets it in. At Highliner. He's intending to get negotiated and win the combat. That's what he's doing here, and he's willing to pay the spice to do it. So Holtzman Engine is... I guess he figures if he wins the combat, he gets the 2 bumps and then ships and he's good. He finds his other dagger as well. That's a huge result for Paul here. Is Yuna going to use blackmail? Paul, if he retreats, is going to be at 10 strength, and Yuna can blackmail to 11 here. Just grabs voice. Doesn't bother to pay any spice there. Gurney Halleck turns up on the Robo. That's a huge card. Hundro's going to go grab some spice. Doesn't use his ring, interestingly. He feels he's got to get some experimenting done, which he does. So has to give up the ring for a round. I mean, well, Beast has got 5. I mean, what do you do here? Research station feels kind of bad now. Feels really bad, research station. I think that was my problem with using the signet ring to go to Siege. If you use recon to Siege, you still have some actions, potentially. Tech negotiation, maybe you go mining early, but now you've given yourself no options whatsoever. Unless you were intending on revealing early, which I guess he might do. He might reveal early for like Esmar. But Esmar's not doing a ton of good for him either. Kind of a weird spot, this. Winning Way's not too bad. That double action's kind of cool. So it's a unique card. Nothing else has an effect where you can like take 2 actions in a row that can give you some really unorthodox solutions to things. So interesting to see what Beast will opt to do here. He might just go Esmar for the resources. He's clearly not really trying to buy Spiceless Flows a lot here. Also, you could take it with intentions of maybe finding a way to selective breeding fairly soon. And just trash Esmar 2-8 for the resources. I don't hate that. But then you're spending 2 to draw to... I don't know. It's yeah, kind of weird. Beast buys nothing. Well, that tells you a story. That tells you the Beast he's not in a good place right now. And he isn't. So here we go. This is going to be interesting. So Paul will retreat 3. He's going to have 10 strength. continuing with this passive alliance faction play, is Yuna going to be drawn into blackmailing here? It's a real committing move for Yuna. Might not bother. Oh, 100 had 4 actions. Sorry, I apologize. He went Mentat, didn't he? I completely missed that. I do offer apologies. He's just going to go like holo projectors here to like get rid of the fact that he's not done any trashing. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, sorry. I've completely forgot he went Mentat. I totally missed that. It was a long night last night. It's possible I might miss 1 or 2 things in the course of this broadcast. Well, just taking the tech negotiation. Just someone to put down his signet ring, basically. He doesn't have to take a negotiate if he doesn't want to. And doesn't opt to. So that tells you Hunter has no interest in teching this game. So he's not obliged to if they don't want to. It's not mandatory. Some people do think it is, but it is not mandatory to take that. So I can remind the table that he's not forced to if they don't want to. Might just go spiritual just to accelerate their progress. Maybe, I don't know. Like it's kind of awkward. You might do this and bump up to trash, but I feel like you're just gonna. People bump down a lot here, but I do prefer bumping up and getting rid of one of these daggers. And does. All right, cool. I like that. I've got no issues with that buy at all. But the only problem is, obviously, if you put negotiators on X, you cannot use those. You can't take them back whenever you want, like specimens, so... Yuna's thinking about it. Looks like Yuna passed. Decided not to, which is probably wise. That's what she wanted. Okay, we'll move on then. Machinations is next for round 6. It's going to be tempting to a lot of people. Beast needs it. Paul feels like he needs it. Everyone feels like they're going to need this. Paul and Beast are armed to the teeth. But Paul Atreides has got cannon turrets. And that's a huge problem for the Beast here. Beast is in real trouble. Paul's up first, though. He's got grafting with industrial espionage. It's huge. He has to go up and down with shipping, and he's got to take Holtzman engine. I think it's mandatory. Holtzman engine, call the market. You have to go all in for this. I think anything else is a mistake. You've got all the license in the world to do this. Yep. And does indeed decide to do so. I wonder if Paul Atreides might actually go for the Bene Gesserit alliance here. If there's one alliance he's going to go for, it's Bene Gesserit here. Minwick Film turns up, by the way. That's a pretty tasty little tech here. I think Bene Gesserit is fine. Like, I think if you're going to go for an alliance, it's Bene Gesserit here. It's really hard to go. Just going to take the Emperor point. All efforts, I think it's going to go Bene Gesserit now. But we'll see what happens. But I think Minimic Holo Projectors here for Paul is the right call. Hunter's got firm grip. He's got power plays, stitched, fold space. His hand's almost too good. You feel like you've got to use firm grip first, though. You don't want to go conspiring. You've got to go wealth as and when you can get there. So, wealth it is. Curiously, when he takes this bump, he's got that spare bump at spacing. Does he harass? He does harass. He's not going to allow Yuna just to have this alliance cheaply. He also wants the money. Apparently. Andra has made a point of continually going for Mentat where possible. So I think it's kind of playing into that. Beast has got buckets of water. And now Beast is going to sack off an experimentation here by the looks of it. Here we go. Research absolutely galore for Beast. He's going to absolutely rocket along this. So it has 2 researchers. Goes for the specimen. Whoa! Look at this! Wow, you don't see that route taken often. Just carting through the center here. That is very unusual. Usually people just bump down and take one of the other rewards here. Very unusual route there from Beast. But hey-ho. Beast puts in the 2 troops. Isn't using the Dreadnought yet. Beast feels they've got to keep the Dreadnought for next round. Which is going to be weird here if he goes heavy for this. Because Paul might have to use cannon turrets when there's no Dreadnought. Beast has no idea Paul's got that. Shipping for Una. Una's going to keep fighting for this alliance, obviously. But the actions here are definitely slowing Una down. Takes the spice. I don't know. I think I would have been tempted to go for the money, especially if you're going to do this. But hey-ho. What's she planning to do with all this spice, huh? Guess we're going to find out. Anyways, that is done. Paul's up. Paul's got to go Mentat here, surely, you'd think, a lot of the time. Mentat your dagger, Mentat of your ring. You do want to get Minimic. You don't have spice for selective breeding. Plant Coupling Industrial would have to go secret, so it's not guaranteed you're going to get there. That's a problem. Paul does have a problem here. If Paul wants to go Bene Gesserit, he might have to just do it now. He draws 2 cards, research, specimen, gets an intrigue. There's a lot of value in from doing this. Paul wants the Mentat really badly here. He's going to go Hager Basin. He's off. He's going for selective breeding. Paul is going all in for selective breeding. If he's going to get there or not, I don't know. I suspect probably not. Oh, and this Hundred just... Hundred just power blazed the alliance. Oh my god. Wow, that is a committing move. Guess he figures he's got firm grip so he can afford to do this. They're going to get their points elsewhere anyways. Wow. Well, that's brutal for Una there. That is absolutely savage. The good news is she's got blackmail. So she still gets 5 swords out of the alliance as and where she wants it. This is not a total disaster, but I didn't actually think Hundred was actually going to go all in there to do it. That is wild. Savage stuff, but this is the thing, like, it's no longer group stages. Like, it is all about winning. You know, reminder, it is only the winners of these 11 matches that go through, as well as the 3 best second places. So it's pretty much winner takes all. You can't go to second place and assume you're going to be good here unless you score like 14 points and somehow don't win the game. In which case, you could probably think you're likely in the next round. And that's why you're seeing a lot more cutthroat play here. People just really undercutting each other. Not so much as the groups where maybe Hunter worries about his own points. Now it's like, I've got to peg people back. And that's the different mentality that comes into knockout play here. Where is Beast going with this? He's got to go Fremen here, surely. Honey Warriors! Wow! I feel like he'd go Steel Suits first. Well, there goes the Dreadnought. Beast won't mind in a way, but Beast really wants to win this conflict. This is the problem here. Beast has got to absolutely jam this. Oh, he's bumped up for the thing. Oh, gosh. Ooh, I would have been really tempted to bump down for the faction just to get the water back there. But he figures he's got to get his Talaxu point. Beast getting a little greedy here. Might get punished. Yuna's like, what is going on here? Yuna might just go... I don't know what Yuna's going to do here. I think Yuna's still raiding a little bit. She's got to decide if she wants a piece of this conflict. I feel like Yuna's got to get in the free troops here. So that she can use Gruesome. And I think she agrees. Arrakis for the draw, though, feels not the best, but her hand is in pretty bad state. She finds convincing. She's getting persuasion. Yuna's going to negotiation, isn't she? Looks like it. Well, Paul's got his selective breeding access. But he also wants to win this fight. But he's got Corner and he's got Holtzman. It takes priority. It's selective breeding for me. Industrial, planned, like, you took a gamble getting there. You've got the access. You cannot turn this down. So Paul gets to draw 2. He's going to trash the dagger immediately, not even waiting, so he draws 4 cards here. 2 plus 2. Oh, didn't want to see Sardina. No Face Dancer. Face Dancer does have from an access, so a pretty bad draw here for Paul. Gets a cube, gets the research, gets a bump. He's got a barrel Bene Gesserit here. Anything else seems crazy. No! I guess he's figuring for the water for Sardina. But yes, drawing Sardina was a terrible result. It's a horrible hand for Paul. He's got a 5 persuasion. Awful result for Paul. And that's the problem. Paul's deck is really big. Hundro's off the steel suits. Draws his Diplo. Did not want to see that. I would have been tempted to not draw, by the way. I don't really see what drawing benefits you. You got 1 or 2 cards. And if you know one's your Diplo, I think I would have just not bothered drawing. But never mind. Vicious Talents is found. I don't know if he's ever going to get involved here. It's only worth 2 swords currently. Going to go for the trash? Trash out the dagger? That's his recon. I mean, trashing out the other dagger's not bad. Might just take the water. People generally take the water a lot of the time. Yeah, makes sense to me. So, 100 with the lead currently at 6 points. But it feels very tenuous. He's got Stage Incident, though, so that's just a point somewhere. He's got a friendship to take. He's going to probably target the Emperor Alliance as well, so I can see him definitely get into, like, 8 or 9. But beyond that, it's looking tricky for Hundro. Is there any way you can maybe find, like, a loose Spice of Flow or something? Who knows? Beast has to go Imperial Basin. Nothing else really for him to do here. Now, what is Beast going to do with his... he's just going to trash the dagger. Looks like he's going to trash the dagger. Does he put in more troops here? Does he put in more troops? Is Beast going to greed this? Oh, Beast is going to greed this. And Yuna's going to benefit here. Oh, he uses the dagger! But she has to, because she's got to get the Spice Must Flow. Ha! She's got to go Minimic here. Is she going to go Dreadnoughting? I feel like you got to keep your cash here. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Dreadnoughting here, just because you're Yuna and you've got your Signet Ring. And you want to get Musa. That Farm Delivery is a great ability, but it needs the money. So opts to save it, which I think is the right call. Also, having that 6 spice is good. It gives you Highlander access as well, which you might still want, depending on what the conflict is. So Paul Atreides reveals for a sad 5 and a specimen. Terrible draw. Real bad for Paul. He desperately needed a Spice Must Flow here for Corner and Holtzman. He's completely missed. Doesn't do anything. Hunjo with 3. I'm not sure he's going to do anything. Beast with a dagger. But surely Yuna's blackmailing here. This is a terrible result for Beast. He's going to be really annoyed he didn't put in an extra troop, and I think I would have done, because you've got nothing behind. You're kind of bluffing at this point. You're begging people to throw stuff at you here. I think he's missed a trick by not putting out a loose troop. I think it was too important. You've got to get in front of this Fremen Alliance, and now it's looking kind of difficult. He's going to have to live with the war on 2 Solari, surely. Yuna goes Spice Must Flow. Which is bad news for Paul as well. And here we go. Paul's not going to use anything. Beast can't. Yuna's surely blackmailing this. Surely blackmailing this. Yeah, and does. Terrible result for Beast, this. Should have put in the extra troop, I think. Tried to greed it a little bit. And he's been punished. You know, private army... second wave, Allied Armada. Well, I don't have Allied Armada anymore, admittedly, but there was a fair few cards that you could have just blocked out if you'd have taken the plus, put in the one extra troop and didn't. And this is now a disaster. And Yuna's going Fremen as well. Wow, look at this. This is absolute crazy aggression here from Yuna. Doesn't even bother going Bene Gesserit. Bumps the Emperor, bumps the Fremen. That is crazy. So here we go then. Tier 3s. What do we got? Grand Vision is first. Paul Atreides is kind of happy to see this and kind of not happy to see this. Paul's got to bomb the Bene Gesserit here, I think. Any other alliance is pretty much looking pretty toast here. Hondro's drawn firm grip. He has no shipping access. How is Hondro not... Oh, Hondro's going research station. He feels he's got to do it now. He's going to hope to get back to wealth later. Not guaranteed, though. Yuna's going Fremen because, of course, she's got the still suits. Beast has no access. Yuna's going to get this alliance. A bit unlucky, I suppose, that Beast didn't draw any access, but it's the way it goes. As I've said a couple of times, his Fremen access is really poor. So that thing his alliance to go spy satellites for is probably not going to work out here, and now he's in real trouble. Paul's still got cannon turrets, by the way, as well. Horrible spot for Beast here. I know Beast effectively is at 6 points, but it don't feel like it. Mentat taken with the liaison. It's going to be draw 3. Try and get out of trouble here. That's a real, like, I'm in real trouble sort of move. Yuna's going Fremen immediately. There's no way she doesn't. Paul Atreides' hand is wild. And this is now a real situation. This is terrible for Hondro as well. Hondro did not want to see this happening. And now there's problems. Grand Vision is a very important conflict here for all sorts of reasons. A lot going on. Paul Atreides has got almost too many options here, but Grand Vision is a great result for him. It gives him an extra round to try and find these spices flows. He must score spices flow here. It is mandatory. So you got a couple of choices here. You know you're going to use Face Dancer with Clandestine, and you probably have to use Test of Humanity. Do you just go Selective Breeding again here? I feel like Selective Breeding here is not a bad move. I don't think shipping's... Well, you've got no real shipping access. You don't want to use Negotiated here. You've got to find Spice Plus Flow. Do you just Selective Breed and then... But then where are you going with the Face Dancer? That's the only issue with this. Where in earth is he going with Face Dancer? Because that doesn't go Bene Gesserit. I think he was after Hardy Warriors, but obviously didn't ever get there. Kind of a weird spot. But you feel like you've got to use Clandestine if it's all possible. Research Station's gone. Selective Breeding's the only way you're going to draw a load of cards here. Might opt just to use Diplo instead of Tesla actually to do so. And that actually might make more sense. But I feel like if you're going to do it, you kind of got to do it now. And just rock on here. You're running out of time here as Paul. And if you're going to use Clandestine as well, you don't have to use Clandestine, but you feel like a lot of the time you probably should. Bene Gesserit is... This is a chance to get ahead on this alliance here as well. It's Grand Vision. Like, it's likely it's going to be used a different faction, either Fremen or Emperor here, which gives you a great opportunity to just push ahead on the Bene Gesserit and score that point. You desperately need it. And if you push ahead, it gives people less incentive to Grand Vision. Like, if you just don't get involved here... Oh, he is going to use Test! Wow, I thought he would have used Diplo here. It's a little brave. I guess Paul Atreides is eyeing up High Council. You know, obviously get rid of the freighter fleet. Dagger for Beast. Hondro sacks off his Diplo, which is pretty notable. What does he draw here? Plant coupling. Plant coupling in clandestine meeting is pretty tasty. Look, eyes up as well. Interesting what he's going to do here. Hunjo's going to go shipping here. He really thinks he's going to be able to keep hold of firm grip. Or is he looking to reveal firm grip for the Spice Must Flow here? Not anymore. Not when he pulls his signet ring. Not when he pulls his signet ring. He's definitely revealing firm grip. He figures he's got 9 persuasion with it. And this is this 10th point that's being elusive for him here. But he can't stage instant this combat's the only problem. Oh, he will be able to stage instant because he's going to get the troops in. So Hunter's going to get 3 points here. Oh my god, Hunter's looking to end it right now. Stage incident, Emperor Alliance, Spice Must Flow, Talaxu point. This could be the last round. How on earth is Hunter Moritani going to score 4 points on this? But then the problem is he's going to lose the conflict. And if Red wins it, he's going to have... Wow, this is crazy. Red has to win this fight. And then has to Grand Vision the Emperor here. It's the only way the game continues. Otherwise, Yellow's through. But does Yuna see it? Is Yuna going to see it in time? This is a real problem. Yuna needs to find a trip to Highliner. But I don't think she's going to do it. But if she doesn't, I think Yellow's going to just straight win this. Oh, it doesn't! Oh! She's going to win this outside of everyone's view. My god. This is over. This game is over. Hunter's going to score 10 here. And I don't think anyone's going to take this Emperor Alliance away from him. This match is over. Unless Yuna manages to win this fight still. The problem we're going to have here is that Yuna's going to be forced... The table's going to have to let Yuna win this to keep this game going. Because Yuna's going to put it in. Hunjo's going to obviously make his reveal and show that he's got 10 points. Or he's going to show he's got 9. Oh, but stage incident is going to be so weird. The table's going to have to let Yuna win this. Like, I'm not saying that they should coerce here, but the table's going to have to let her win this. Because otherwise, the game's over. This is such a crazy spot. What on earth does Paul do here? Paul wants to go steel suits. I feel like sometimes. He feels he's got to get troops in. He wants to use clandestine. He's got 10 persuasion. He's got negotiated. He has to buy spice here. It's mandatory. He always knows his next card, so that should never be put in danger. You feel like you've got to use clandestine, but the problem is if you do, how are you getting Spice Must Flow? Oh my god. Well, this has to be a 2 persuasion card. It's got to be your convincing argument or something. Otherwise, this is kind of crazy. Really wants to use it, but I don't think it is. It's Saidina. Saidina is Ferrin Bond with Face Dancer, but wants to use it for the point. Oh man, poor Atreides is in a real mess here. I don't hate going secrets. It's free intrigues. And you know the Spice of Slow is safe. You'd rather use it, obviously, but there's not much you can do here. What else could you do? You could just Diplo secrets and just do it that way. So you save Saidina. You have 10 persuasion. That is the alternative. You could just Diplo secrets with and call it a day. Take the 2 points. Alliance, Spice is slow. It feels bad not using negotiated, but it really depends. Portrait doesn't necessarily need the extra Bene Gesserit bump. That's the only issue with planned coupling here, or clandestine meeting. It's giving him a 5th bump with a faction he probably doesn't need. So there is an argument to say you Diplo this instead. But the extra intrigue is definitely nice. Paul feels like they've got to get involved here with this combat. But do they need to get involved with this combat for negotiation? What's negotiated doing here? Harassing the Fremen, I guess. The players have no idea how close this game is to ending right now. They have no clue. This is so hidden from Paul, from Hundro here, that he's going to score. He's looking to score all 4 points here. This is so hidden. But the players know this is no longer group stages. It's not about points. It's about who wins this game. So that's the only issue. Once Hundro gets involved in the combat, and especially when stage incident happens, the table's going to have to realize that they have to make sure he loses the Emperor Alliance. And the only way that's ever going to happen is by letting Yuna win it and Grand Visioning. It's the only way the game continues. Is he looking to recon Arrakis here? Oh, he's looking to play coupling. Wow. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. But then you're in the same position. Paul Ferreira feels like they have to get involved here. You've got to draw. If you're going to do this, you have to draw 2 cards. In the hope that you can use Saiyadina, and they can. So this is going in. Oh man, this is about to be really chaotic, this. Here comes Carfag. Here comes the dump. Here comes the Emperor Alliance. No! Urgent mission is found! Oh, but he can't use it! He has no actions! Because he'd lose his Spice Must Flow. Train Joes is coming in. It's all just going to go pumped in here, of course. Hundro might just choose to try and win this. He's 16 strength. With Vicious. Yeah, Carfag. Forgot about that. Yeah, the troop at Carfag. So, Hundro's looking to end this. But the thing is, he has to stage incident to end the game now. That's the only thing. That's the only thing here. The table... Well, he doesn't. No, he could just take the Bene Gesserit point. Hundro's looking to end this right now. And Yuna's given up and sacked off the spike and didn't go Highliners. This game is over. Hershey's going through here. I don't see how anyone's going to be able to stop this. Yuna can't infiltrate her own hardy warriors. No one's going to catch. This is over. Wow. Crazy. Grand Vision comes at you think we're going 8 rounds here a lot of the time. Paul was so happy to see it. But I think this is over. I don't see how anyone is getting over is going to stop this unless they pull a big intrigue. But Blackmail's already gone. No one's got spice for Private Army or Allied Armada. I think this game is over. The only chance is that Beast, like, absolutely barrels it in with flagships. But then what? He can get an intrigue from Talaxu. And he can put in, like, what, 5 units? He's 6 at Siege. So he can get to 13 strength. The table now realizes what's at stake here, I think. And they realize there's problems here. I think he has to go to Siege and take the intrigue. And hope he gets lucky. What does he find? To the victor is no good. It's no good. And I think that's it. Beast doesn't even bother. Beast does not even bother, hoping somehow that this game is going to continue here. Oh, why did you get rid of that? Why not go for the... This is over. The table has no idea how close. I don't know why you get rid of Talaxilab. I'd have kept the spice, truthfully. Thinking spice must flow, which she's missed anyways. Oh, she's got Minimic. It's fine. But it's over. This game is over. It tells you the table has no idea what's going on here and no idea this is about to end. The fact that no one's getting involved here. Yellow is loving this. Yellow is absolutely loving this. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And that's it. Hersheylim is through to the next round. And now they realise. But it's too late. They realise it's all over. And it is. They have been had. Fair play for Hershey for spotting it. And managing to craft the situation. But this one is over. And no one here is going through as the fastest loser. Almost certainly. Crazy finish. All I can say is well played, Hershey. Found it. Executed it perfectly. And the table had no idea it was coming. Not a clue. No good for Paul. It's not going to help him win this. Paul's going to get 8 points here, but Corner Market is obsoleted by Yuna and only has the one, so nothing for Holtzman. He can chuck in 8 swords, but that's it. I don't see anything Paul can buy here that's going to get him out of jail. Plans within plans is a point, I guess. But only gets him to 9. Andrew didn't need to do anything. Andrew's like, I mean, you might as well play talents and just call it a day. Like, the game's over at this point. You don't need to stage, because Ben Gesserit is there. Surely Andrew sees that. And it's it. And now they know it's over. Now they know it's over. Yuna's going to dig to try and find anything she can. Dispensation's no good. Can't use it. Paul will get in front with second wave and turrets. And that's it. It's all over. Kind of a surprise ending in a way, but yeah, the moment I saw and realized Hunter's got these has got the 4 points, I'm like, yeah, this is Stage Instant. I told you when Stage Instant turned, I was like, that's going to be a really important intrigue in this game, and Stage Instant is going to win it as a backup here. It's going to just win the conflict anyways, so it doesn't really matter what whatever Hunter does. It's kind of irrelevant. It don't matter. We'll see what the intrigue is for Paul and Yellow. But I don't see any way for Paul Atreides to get out of jail here. Plans in plans is 1 point. Grand Conspiracy is nothing. Not a lot going on here. Grand Conspiracy it was, funnily enough. This one is over. Hershey wins it. With a pretty good final round here. And we'll get themselves through to the next round.
Actually, I knew you had cannon turrets, but I thought this was cannon turrets. because this is the one I threw away at the start.
Mm,
So I knew you had this, but I thought that was that. So I could have worked it out, but yeah.
cool. Okay, congratulations.
GG,
Nice
guys.
game.
GG.
Yeah, GG.
It was a good spot in the end. Like I was kind of with yellow, just looking. I was outside. I was like, oh wait, yellow can get to 10 points here.
Yeah, there was a couple of ways. I was like, I was really worried about this. If that was gone, then like my whole game plan was gone. But I thought I either win this round or I don't win. So
Yeah.
But then I drew this and I have this, so maybe.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't know about War Chest, obviously.
True. Actually, no. I think
War Chest
Green
came
would've
like
done it.
she just now.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
why I was gonna take money here instead of the spice in case this came up, but you know you can never predict.
you can never. Yeah, we're not omniscient. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it was there to go for, and like, it's like obviously like you sends the fold space to like the text, which didn't highlight. Like, you can't highlight that fight really. You can't expect what's going to happen is going to happen. So it's not really your fault or anything like that. But like, obviously, like once Highline's given up there, like it's pretty much over. But you can't really know.
Oh God, I'm sweating.
Yeah, no, it was a good spot at the end. Like Grand Vision Gate, I thought was a great result for Green. It was a great result for Green, but yeah, like you just had a really kind of coaxed way to get to 10 points with firm grip, and yeah, you just got everything you needed.
I think my problem with Spice Satellites is when it's purchased so early in the game, people fight less for these.
Yeah,
So,
well, obviously because there's just one less person going for faction. That's going to be a thing.
So I always tend to rush for at least 1 or 2 alliances when this gets taken. But it feels good because I lost my Leto game when I had this card last time. So, oh well, GG guys, have a nice day.
Yeah. We'll cheer for you now, Hershey.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So Hersheylim gets themselves through to the next round. Well played to them. I think you're definitely right. Spy Satellites is one of those techs that it definitely has a lot more effects in the game than you realize. Obviously, like getting the guarantee points, obviously very good. But the problem is that like when someone takes it, it means there is just going to be less competition for factions. So of course, that person is just not going to go for factions as much, and it gives the chance people to accelerate more. It's interesting to know kind of how things played out though. Like it's really fascinating. Like maybe if Paul Atreides like absolutely jams the Spacing Guild first and is a bit more aggressive of alliances, maybe Paul Atreides never gets to the Spacing Alliance because Paul Atreides decides not to put the effort there. Maybe he gets somewhere else. I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely a very interesting little story that got told throughout. I think Paul, like if this game goes another round, like Paul Atreides might even potentially be favorite to win. Depending on what the conflicts are, I guess. But Hershey found the spot and was able to make full use of it. Fair play to them, They found the route through to getting the win here, call it a day. Because if the thing is well for Hershey, like if they don't win it this round, I don't think they do. I feel like someone on this table is possibly going to catch them up. They're not going to be able to hold on to the Emperor Alliance, probably. That's most likely going to be toast. Because also, like, if Yellow doesn't win it, Red does, and the Emperor Alliance will be going bye-bye sort of thing. So, yeah, well played to Yellow, and they've got themselves booked into the next round. That's going to be all for this one, however, so you guys have enjoyed. Obviously, we've got plenty more coverage coming from the knockouts for the competition. And yeah, definitely just watching it. You get definitely a different feel for it. People start to make sort of different types of decisions. Like Yellow going so heavily on like Red's Spacing Alliance. In a group stage, maybe you don't see that sort of so much. They just worry about cashing their own points. But I'm sure we'll see plenty more of that style action as we go. Commiserations to Nappy, Shema, and Michael, but it is Yellow through. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you on the next conflict.